All right, happy Friday, everyone. Let's get straight into this crypto market update. Okay, Bitcoin. We'll start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin. What is a Bitcoin, bruv? All right. We are in an uptrend. We have broken to bearish on the hourly. Boom. Bearish on the hourly. We do have some extreme liquidity up here, I believe. It might be valid on the 45. Oh, it's actually valid on the hour as well. Yeah, valid structure. Okay. So this is my extreme liquidity for a third tap POI if we are to ever get it. I'm also seeing somewhat of a supply here, but it might not be valid. You know, let's do one step at a time. Extreme liquidity, there it is. Is that valid supply? That is my question. Okay, so it has been mitigated on the lower time frame, but we can use this to showcase the true inefficiency. Will price come all the way up here? Not necessarily. We have a much better third tap POI being that extreme liquidity. So let's see what happens. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that we start coming up, leaving behind that nice sell side liquidity trail, sweep our extreme liquidity, and then dump to complete this distribution. So that is the pre-planning for Bitcoin. Overall, still bearish. On the 4-hour, are we still bullish? Potentially. Let's have a look. Yes. Yes, we are still bearish on the 4-hour. But everything else, sorry, we are still bullish on the 4-hour, but everything else remains bearish. So overall, expect Bitcoin and alts to go lower. We'll validate this by looking at USDT dominance. We are still bearish on the 4-hour. I'll assume we're bullish on the hourly. Yeah, very much so bullish on the hourly. We have entered a area of supply, so just be mindful there. We could get some rejections, at least temporarily. And that is it for USDT dominance. So yeah, overall, expect the crypto market to go lower. And that is our low. Like until we break this low here, just yeah, expect us to go lower really. Yeah, USDT dominance is rising. Bitcoin is moving lower, but we are within a potential higher time frame distribution model, so we just got to be patient. We're entering demand in Bitcoin, we're entering supply in USDT dominance. All right, ETH. ETH has entered demand. Not a whole lot to do in ETH at the moment. There's a lot cleaner models going around the market, so I will focus on the cleaner models. We can potentially look at this as supply, but just be mindful that this supply is leaving behind quite nice liquidity. So if we do come back up to the supply, expect it to not really get respected, as I feel like price is going to want to grab the liquidity that's above or enduring and within the supply. So we'll leave that as is. Let's have a look at Link. Link has entered demand. Okay. Potential accumulation at play here with Link, which I am happy to see unfold, which could align with the high time frame distribution on Bitcoin as well. So yeah, two distribution models. Apologies if I said accumulation earlier, but two distribution models which look really, really nice. Already, this is going to be my extreme liquidity POI right here. As clean as an extreme liquidity POI can get, and it's close to tap 2. So we will monitor this on Link. So yeah, very clean looking model on Link, but obviously we're on the 3-hour time frame here, so it needs a lot more time. All right, let's have a look at Aave. Let me quickly double check AUD CAD. Okay, well I did say preferred Model 1 here, and we might get the Model 1 if that, but we're still looking quite we're still looking to go lower, to be honest. We've also moved down quite aggressively. Although it is during London Open, so it can be deemed as manipulation. Very much so. So this could be seen as fake supply, technically speaking. But nevertheless, if there's no clean breaks, then you're never going to want to enter. Yeah, it's just not nice. Yeah, no structure here, not even on a 2-minute. Yeah, it's just not clean. But we'll come back to this. Okay, so Aave is still, yeah, we're in a pro distributive environment. Aave can still pump and grab that extreme liquidity, but I don't think it will. And not a whole lot to be done here, so I do think that we are going to go lower for Aave, at least for now, especially with Bitcoin going lower and USDT dominance going higher, although they are both in a demand and supply POI. So yeah, with Aave, I'm just going to leave this as is. Not a whole lot for me to try and extract from here, if you will. Let's have a look at Pepe. Well, this is our extreme supply POI for a potential extended model, but same thing, I don't really know if we'll get this, but I'll leave the alert just in case. The distribution on WIF has completed itself. Could we get a redistribution potentially? We'll have a look if we do. All right, that is whiff. Let's look at Sol. So yeah, honestly, like looking back at whiff, perfect example of accumulation, distribution, move down, maybe redistribution again. Boom. And then high time frame accumulation. Boom. 1, 2, 3. It could happen. It could not. We'll see. Let's keep the ball rolling. Have a look at Sol. Gonna have a look at your NZD, of course, as well. I will draw this as a range, just to see what happens. Doesn't necessarily mean I expect us to accumulate, but like I do like the buy side the buy side liquidity forming. There is supply above. It's kind of been grabbed. Yeah, let's just see what price does here. Is the liquidity here the cleanest? Not necessarily. But yeah, that is Sol for now. Let's quickly jump to Euro NZD. Okay, we just hit supply. That's it really. All right, back to XRP. Front ran all the POIs here, so I do expect lower. Nothing really to draw off here. Cake is in a confirmed distribution already, so just be mindful there. Maybe a mini accumulation here. Well, not necessarily mini, but just given that Bitcoin is in demand and USDT dominance is in supply, you could potentially see this as a little accumulation opportunity. You have, however, distributed there beautifully, creating supply. So something to be mindful of there. Yeah, there's quite a bit of supply here, so I wouldn't really look at this as a potential short. Viewing credit supply here. Yeah, you know what? I'm not really. It's a very counter context environment here. In a confirmed distribution, let's keep the ball rolling. I am only looking for clean A+ setups, as you know. Bitcoin Cash, somewhat of a compression here. I do expect Quant to go lower and grab all this liquidity. It's actually front ran it. Or it's ever so slightly grabbed it, but you can expect a deeper grab of it, as opposed to this sort of half front ran, half grab. Could maybe accumulate here on Quant, potentially. So let's see what price does. preferred model 1 here. We've deviated. Come back in and then decisively grab that last bit of liquidity and then push up. That's kind of ideal. You know, we'll move quant higher up. Asta. Nothing of interest here. Hype. Nothing really of interest for Hype as well. We've obviously distributed. I expect us to go lower. Sui, this remains as is. I do believe that we're going to hit range low. That is my thought process behind Sui. We're going to go lower, moving down quite aggressively. XLM, similar story. I think we're going to go lower. Has this supply been mitigated or has it not been mitigated? Okay, it has been mitigated on the lower time frame, so it's not really valid supply anymore. So I'm not really too interested in it. Nice little model here though. Really, really nice. Clean. Beautiful return to zone. You could tell this is going to dump just when you see these lows stacking up so nicely. Yeah, not a whole lot to do on XLM at the moment. Could you see an accumulation? Not really. From 1, 2, and 3, just because of how aggressive we've come back down, leaving no return to zone. So if you're asking that or you had that thought whilst I was going through that XLM chart, that is my answer. 0 return to zone all the way down. I don't think we're going to accumulate. Doge is going lower. Similar story. I would not be looking at this as an accumulation. We're just going to go lower. XMR is looking interesting. I'm willing to look at this as a distribution. What would your extreme supply be, Livy? You might ask yourself. Well, let's have a look. Maybe there's no extreme supply, but there's extreme liquidity. So this is the extreme liquidity. That is my extreme liquidity. Jeez, that is a thick candle. What's going on here? Okay. Look how thick that looks. What the fuck? It's not really clean supply. I am prioritizing the liquidity above it, but I will still have that on the chart because it is supply at the end of the day. So yeah, let's monitor XMR and see how price feels like moving. All right, we can move XMR up the the leaderboard. Let's have a look at Litecoin. Well, Litecoin's just not there yet. I do think it's going to go lower. Yeah, I'm not really liking the price action on Litecoin at the moment. We do have demand here. Very clean and valid demand. So let's see if we bounce from here. So yeah, let's see how we go with Litecoin. All right, let's have a look at Pump Fun. Not a whole lot here. Nothing of interest on Pump Fun. Okay, maybe we're going to get somewhat of a distribution here on Virtual. I don't mind what I'm seeing. I don't mind this at all. There might even be some supply right smack bang on this smack bang in line with our tab 1 POI. Obviously, you still need to zoom in on the lower time frame and just validate it. That is clean. That is clean. So this is going to be our POI for our tab 3. I don't really need extreme liquidity here. I've got a very clean supply POI, so this is going to be my focus, and we can move Virtual up towards the top. Yeah, so far so good. I like this range. I really do. There's no real demand holding price up. Yeah, it just looks clean to me. Looks very clean. Very clean distribution here. All right, we were up to BNB. BNB is in a confirmed accumulation, which looks like might come back down here. Not a whole lot that I'm interested in on BNB at the moment. We're just going down quite aggressively, so we'll leave that as is. Render. I feel like this range is invalid now. Tab 1 to tab 2 is 14 days, 18 hours. Tab 2 to current, 20, yeah, almost 22 days. So this range is invalid. I'm honestly happy to prioritize this as a new range. Potential accumulation here I'd play it, we'll see. As a ranging environment, this is very clean, which I like. Very, very clean ranging environment. So just be mindful that there is very clean sell side liquidity. So I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe do something like this and then just go lower and grab all this liquidity that's just chilling here. So yeah, just be mindful of accumulating here on our render. Tau. Tau looks like it's going to move towards this demand. I don't think this range is going to play off. I feel like we're going to keep going lower. So we will see. We will see. And then we have Trump. Nothing of in. Oof. Man, Trump is almost at the all-time low here, man. This looks terrible. You know what? I'm just gonna have a look if we get a little local bounce up here. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. Who knows? And then last but not least, Graham. Graham is dumping. Well, sucks. Sucks to whoever bought Graham up here, guys. All my days. Terrible. Terrible. If you bought Graham in price discovery, you're an idiot. Like, I can't further emphasize how silly this decision is. You bought it at the most deviation, at the highest deviation point within a distribution. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. And that is it for crypto. To summarize, we're looking at Link. Link looks really good on the higher time frame. Quant looks really good on the higher time frame. Oh, it looks okay. Semi-counter context, but we're prioritizing a Model 1 here if we are to get it. Virtual looks clean, so we can move Virtual to second place. Then XMR looked alright as well, I believe. Yeah, we'll move XMR to third place as well. And that is kind of it. So yeah, keep it simple. Let me just quickly double check what my Forex is doing. GBP NZD is looking okay for this potential scalp, so we'll see what happens. My alerts are set. Liquidity looks really, really clean here. Really clean for a counter context. Low time frame scalp. I don't mind how this looks. Don't mind this at all. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that is it for today, guys. Thank you for listening, viewing, watching. Subscribe if you've made it this far, and I will catch you all on tomorrow's update. Hoos.